Chapter 6 The Mud Gremlins. Miss Mackle didn't laugh when Harry said mud gremlins. We didn't either. We all knew it was a big fat fib, but not one of us said a word. Who are the mud gremlins? Miss Mackle asked. Harry hemmed and hawed a bit. Then he exclaimed, When we don't know who did something at my house, we usually blame it on the gremlins. My great-grandfather, Sam Spooger, always told me that during World War II, when things went wrong with his plane, everyone blamed it on the gremlins. They're little creatures that mess things up. Miss Mackle managed a small smile. The gremlins, huh? Yeah, Harry continued. They even take things at my house like socks and keys. I bet they tracked in mud on our classroom rug. I don't think so, the teacher replied. Maybe they take your socks, Harry, but they didn't track in this mud. Does anyone else have an explanation for this mess? The class looked at the brown footprints that crossed over the yellow moon rug several times. Mary immediately went to her seat and started writing. Song Lee turned off the microscope and hurried over to her desk. When she put her head down, I knew what she was thinking. The same thing I was thinking. Telling the gremlin fib was one thing. Keeping the truth from our teacher was another. We all knew what the truth was, too. We were the ones who tracked in the mud. We broke a school rule by going under the fence and into the empty lot without permission. The teacher waited patiently for someone to say something. It was a very long, uncomfortable silence. I could feel the goosebumps popping up on my arms. I could also feel the wet sweat dripping down the sides of my face. I feel sick, Song Lee blurted out. Please may I go to the nurse's office? I knew it. Song Lee felt awful too. Just as Song Lee got to the doorway, Mary jumped out of her seat. Wait! We'll all feel better if I read this now. Song Lee turned around and listened with the rest of us. Mary cleared her throat, then read her paper. I hate stinkhorn mushrooms. They're smelly and ugly, but more than that, I hate fibbing. It can make you sick. You let people down like your nice teacher. I'm one of the mud gremlins that sneaked through the hole in the fence at recess to see a stinkhorn mushroom. Because it rained last night, the dirt in the lot stuck to my shoes. It made a real mess out of everything, and not just our classroom rug. I am very sorry. I hate fibbing. See what happens. As soon as Mary read her story, Song Lee ran into the teacher's arms. I am a mud gremlin too. I'm so sorry, Miss Mackle. Dexter and I showed the teacher the bottoms of our shoes. We did it too, we said. We're sorry. Me too, Ida said. Sidney whispered something, but no one could hear him. Harry bowed his head. It's all my fault, Miss Mackle. I got everyone to go under the fence to see the fungi. I'm really sorry. The teacher folded her arms as she looked at Harry. Well, she groaned, I accept the apologies of the mud gremlins. Each one of you seems to have genuine remorse. That means they really feel sorry about it. I'm glad Mary and now the rest of you are telling me the truth. That's what's most important. But this is no laughing matter. You broke an important school rule. You went on that little science field trip without permission. There will be consequences. I'll be calling your parents and you'll have to stay after school today. All of us nodded while Harry reached for the hand broom. I'll start cleaning the dirt off the rug, Miss Mackle. I will help, Harry, Song Lee said, reaching for the dustpan. She seemed to be feeling a little better. I'll help too, I said. That day after school, we did chores for 1 hour. Harry and I used scrub brushes to clean the new moon rug real well with soap and water. Then we washed the blackboards and all the desktops with big purple sponges. Song Lee, Ida, and Mary rearranged all the books in our 2 large bookcases. One was for fiction and the other was for nonfiction. Dexter and Sidney swept the floor and cleaned out the teacher's closet. The worst part was facing our parents afterward. The best part was that the girls found more neat books about mushrooms and fungi in our own classroom library. And Sidney found a lunch bag that was in the teacher's closet. Inside was an old orange. It had grown an amazing layer of green and white mold. Miss Mackle let us look at it with Harry's magnifying necklace. Song Lee even made a slide of it. But that very best part was that Miss Mackle planned a visit to a nearby state park where there were all kinds of mushrooms, and everyone remembered to bring a permission slip, even Harry. I was going to tell you something. What am I trying to remember? Oh, when they keep saying Song Lee made a slide, she takes a little piece of glass and she puts a little bit of the mold on and then puts the top on, and then she looks under a magnifying glass to see what it is. And making the slide is what you put under the microscope. There they are looking at the orange. Growing mold, they found out, can be pretty dangerous. So we don't do it at school very much because you never know what kind of mold's going to grow and if it's going to make people sick. And some people have allergies to it. So, but that was a fun story about Horrible Harry. And they learned a lesson. This was a fiction book that taught us a lesson that telling fibs and telling lies isn't always good. And we should always follow the school rules and not lie. The rules are there to keep us safe. So there's the front cover of Horrible Harry and the Mud Gremlins. So now you've met Harry. It sounds like he likes to get in trouble and do some things that he probably shouldn't do. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. Bye-bye.